Well, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started. Who knows, maybe there are people on, maybe there aren't. Okay, welcome to another episode of Not Cooking with Ash. I keep thinking it's Friday today, so I'm just kind of sad because it's not actually Friday, it's Thursday. But I wanted to tell you guys about I don't brag on my recipes very often because I'm not a good cook. That's why this is called Not Cooking with Ash. But I will tell you, I do have a recipe that I am known for amongst my friend circle. And it is a cucumber salad. And what happens is, you get invited to a backyard barbecue. Oh my gosh, this onion. And you're on a group text message string and everybody's like, I'll bring the beans and I'll bring the this. And I'm like, uh-oh. And I'm scrolling back through because usually I'm late to a group text message as it is. And I'm like, please let somebody have not say they would bring the paper plates. Because I'm like, can I bring the paper plates? You guys don't want me to bring the sides. So I bring the paper plates. But if somebody's already got the paper plates, I got to come up with something. So I actually came up with this recipe, which there's not much to it. You can see under here, there are 2 huge cucumbers. It's cucumber salad, so you got to have cucumbers. And 1 large must be fresh onion so that you'll cry like I'm doing right now. Let me get a paper towel and wipe my eyes. And the way I came up with this recipe, and I think it's not very difficult, so it's not like I really came up with it, but at my grandma's house, every time you would go over to her house, she would always have a bowl just sitting out on the counter, room temperature, with cucumbers and vinegar and salt and pepper, or at least pepper. You could tell there was pepper in there. And this bowl would just be sitting there, and it was always there. And you could go, and she just liked to keep cucumbers, vinegar cucumbers, basically pickles. And she always had it out, and I always thought it was disgusting growing up. But as I got older, I started liking that kind of stuff. And so one day I was like, I'm going to make that. And so that was years ago, and this has kind of developed into what it is. And there is a secret ingredient, but I will tell you, this does not take long to not cook. And it is always the thing that ends up disappearing first at like backyard barbecue. So this is great when it's hot outside. It's a great summer outdoor picnicky, potluck type of situation to bring. So all it is you take a bunch of cucumbers and a bunch of onions, and you put them in a bowl. And I use this aluminum or stainless steel or whatever the heck it is bowl, and then I just put a ton of salt and pepper on it. Like, I don't think you can go too much, not too much. And then you put a ton of salt too, and you can always add more. And then the secret ingredient is coming up, but not quite yet. And then I take this Italian recipe. This is just the H-E-B brand, but I think like Hidden Valley has, or it's over there with the dressings in the grocery store aisle, in the dressing aisle. And you're supposed to mix this with oil and vinegar and water and all kinds of stuff. And there's like a whole situation recipe on the back of that. I just pour it into a small bowl like this, and then this is vinegar. I just throw a bunch of vinegar in with it, and I mean a bunch. And then I throw some olive oil in. Actually, I'll just throw the olive oil in on top of this. Maybe a little in here. See, this is the thing about me. I don't measure anything. Why? Because even when I measure it, it doesn't make a difference. My shirt, it's May. May is my birthday, so I'm wearing this shirt for you guys today. I got it on Amazon. And what am I drinking with it? I am having, this is gonna pair perfectly with this, but really it's just for optics because I am not going to eat this right now. So you wanna make this recipe at least a day in advance before eating it. You can eat it immediately, but it's not gonna be as good. You want it to soak in all of the stuff that you're mixing together here all of the oil and the vinegar, and I'll throw some water in there as well. You want it to kind of like sit in that and just like bathe in it for about 24 hours. Then here comes the secret ingredient. I'm gonna go ahead and pour this in. Oh, hold on. Still need some mix in there. And if you don't have this salad dressing stuff, you can just use or that mixture. You can just use out of the bottle. You know, like you can just buy bottles of salad dressing. I don't use those because they tend to have a ton of sugar in them. So I just kind of stay away. You want your cucumbers and onions to be able to be sitting in this, not completely submerged, but to the point, maybe about halfway submerged. So to the point where you're gonna basically have to stir it every, not every few hours, maybe at least once or twice, at least twice before you serve it the next day, just to make sure all of the cucumbers and onions get in there. And the onions, I'm not a huge onion fan, but the onions you'll like them because they get a little softer because that vinegar kind of softens them up. And then for the secret ingredient, now we're not going to put the secret ingredient in until we are ready, but feta cheese. Okay, so once we get this all soaked and yummy, I'm going to sprinkle just a little in just for fun, to show you guys. This is fresh. I haven't opened it yet. And I just sprinkle it in just like this and mix it in, but I don't do it until, let me see if can you guys see that okay? Yeah, there we go. And then mix it in before you go to your picnic. Cover it with plastic wrap or whatever, however you cover your stuff. Set it by the beans. Uh-oh, what happened? Set it by whatever, all of the savory stuff, because this is obviously very vinegary and offsetting. And everybody will be talking about it. So I even have friends that live right here in my neighborhood that just because I'm doing this, I'm gonna take it to them because they get excited whenever I make this cucumber salad. So this is a Not Cooking with Ash. Hey, my Diary of Us just joined. I'm at the end of it, but you'd be proud of me because I'm not cooking, but I am, and I'm showing people one of my favorite recipes that I actually get to brag about, which is not many of them, but it's my cucumber salad. My grandma used to make some version of this, and I've just kind of picked it up and made it my own over the years, but it's not cooking. There's some chopping involved, but no cooking. So there is your backyard barbecue picnic bring when somebody has already claimed the paper plates. This is what you're gonna bring, okay? All right, love it, thank you. Okay, so I will post this later so that you guys can refer back to it, and I'll put it in my highlights, okay? Bye.